Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Super Breakfast Friends Club, the show where Mel is very sick.
Yeah. I insisted that we record today, though.
Yeah, I gave you an out. I told you.
You tried to stop me.
I even recommended that we don't do it.
You tried to take the microphone from me and hide it, but I found it. I found it where you hide the Christmas presents.
And then you hit record and made me introduce it.
It's fine. It's fine. Do you know how many things I've put in my body to deal with it? 2. It's fine.
Okay, that's cool. Well, let's play a theme song then.
Okay.
We're watching Medabots again.
I think about this show all the time.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why it took us so long to come back to it, because I know we really enjoyed the first one.
Because we forget that it exists.
Yeah. But this was requested.
It was.
By our Club Mesmeron over on Patreon.
What a delight.
This is for you, Gene. This is for Eugene.
Eugene Levy? We got rid of him.
No, not Eugene Levy. He's wearing his tentacle costume. He's gone.
He's still waddling his way to the dinner table. It's been weeks.
This episode is called Screw's Revenge.
I remember those guys.
Did you?
I did. At first I didn't, but then I did.
Yeah, it's funny how a lot of stuff came back to me while I was watching this. Like when we saw the Screws base, I was like, oh yeah, they took it from the student council. I forgot. This was written by Ryota Tamaguchi, who wrote the whole series, as far as I can tell.
Cool.
And we open with Ikki and Metabee winning a battle in some kind of official tournament.
He's dreaming he's the Ash Ketchum Pokemon champion.
Yeah, I guess this kind of is like the beginning of Pokemon. He's even got similar colored pajamas on.
And he has his hand extended like he threw a Pokeball at his clock and broke it. And he is late.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, his mom's trying to wake him up. And then when he doesn't get up, she climbs in the bed with him, and that gets him up. I like his mom.
Me too. That wouldn't work on me. She's too chill.
Yeah, same. If my mom got in the bed with me, I'd be like, oh, sweet, she's accepting it. I don't have to get up.
We're taking a sick day today.
Downstairs, Metabee's reading the newspaper with Ikki's dad. I liked that too. That was cute.
I liked all of this stuff about how Metabee loves Ikki's mom.
Yeah, it was really cute. Yeah, Ikki's mad that Metabee's doing stuff he hasn't told him to do, like reading the newspaper. But Metabee isn't too thrilled to have Ikki as a master at this point. He doesn't really want to take orders from him.
But he does take orders from Mom.
Yeah, and it's really cute. As soon as Mom asks him to take the trash out, he's like, absolutely, I'll do that.
It's the son she's always wanted.
As they're arguing, we get like a close-up of Ikki's dad reading the newspaper, and a narrator tells us that he's getting some satisfaction from his son having to deal with a disobedient child.
Now, what is that like? What would he know about that?
So Ikki's going to school, and Metabee's following him despite being told not to. He doesn't care.
No, he does his own thing. He's the Pikachu.
This is where that store clerk who sold him his Medabots shows up.
I love him. He's just hiding behind a post.
Yeah, do you remember what the deal was with him?
He's the thief that stole the token, right?
The masked guy, and he's also the protagonist of the first Medabots game.
That's right. I forgot that part.
Yeah, because this whole show is an adaptation of Medabots 2, or Medarot 2, but the store clerk was the main character of Medarot 1, and he... So we know that he's trying to get the medal. We know that he found out about the medal, and it's the medal that he dropped in the river, and he wants to get it back. But he's really selling it as like... Because when Ikki sees him, he blames him for this disobedient Medabot that he has. And the guy's like, no, I sold you the tin pet and the armor. I did not sell you the medal, and the medal is your problem.
I didn't sell you his personality. That's something you dug out of a riverbed.
So they tried to take the medal out, but Metabee freaks out and refuses to eject it, no matter how many watches they use to try and do it.
Yeah, it's stuck.
Ikki arrives late at school and the gates are closed already. So he jumps the wall, but he gets caught by the gym coach.
I love the gym coach.
He's really good. What was it? Otokoyama, his name is. He is played by Masami Iwasaki, who is the voice of Gumshoe.
Gumshoe?
Yeah, in the Ace Attorney anime.
We love that guy.
Yeah, he also played Birdie in Bomberman Jettas. Remember him?
Vaguely.
The bird guy.
Oh. Oh.
In English, he's called Coach Mountain.
Coach Mountain.
And he's played by Terry McGurran, who is a stand-up comedian. He's been the voice of Snoopy since 2019, apparently. And he's also a story editor and executive producer on the Total Drama series. So Coach Mountain is like kind of a translation of his Japanese name, part of it at least.
I was gonna say, isn't his name literally like Man Mountain?
That's exactly what it is, yeah. I knew that Yama was mountain, but I wasn't sure what Otoko meant, so I looked it up. And yeah, it's just Man Mountain. So the principal shows up too.
That guy's also great.
Yeah, he's really good too. He is played by Eiji Takamoto, who plays Edgeworth in the Ace Attorney games, but not the anime.
Oh, okay.
He's also the voice of Rock Howard in the SNK fighting series, and King Nosehair in Bobo 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 Bo.
Yeah, good.
The English voice, I don't know who that is. I couldn't find out.
Just some guy.
So Ikki, it turns out, is famous at school now.
Yeah, he had Metabee's picture in the paper.
Yeah, thanks to Arika, his friend, who I guess runs the school paper. I forgot about that part.
Yeah, his sassy photojournalist friend.
Yeah, she's put his face everywhere.
Against his will.
He seems okay with it.
She does admit that they're sneak photos, though.
Metabee also shows up again and tries to get his share of the fame. But everyone just thinks he's busted and defective.
He's weird.
Yeah. And then this is where we go back to the Screws headquarters, formerly the student council office. I love these
guys. With all the signage to let us know. Oh, me too. Kikuhime is great.
That's her name. I've called her Samantha in my notes because I couldn't remember the Japanese name. I know that's her English name.
Yeah. And then you swap between English and Japanese and I get scared and confused.
Samantha, Sloan, and Spike are their English names.
Samantha Sloan is just one person. Like Steve and Joe.
So there's someone above them pulling the strings, apparently, and they seem to be scared of him, whoever he is.
The true boss in the shadows.
Yeah, so Sloan gets sent to do something about it. Did you take in what his Japanese name was?
No.
No, me neither. We talked about him last time anyway. Then he goes to challenge Ikki to a battle, which Metabee accepts without Ikki's consultation.
Why does he need his consultation? He is his own man.
Sloane sends out his Medabot, Keith Turtle.
Keith Turtle.
What a good name. I went all over the place. I was like, did I just hear Keith Turtle? Is that right? I went on the wiki to look it up. And yeah, it's Keith Turtle.
Why? Why is he just a guy?
There's an upgraded version called Rick Turtle.
No, that's a downgraded version. Keith Turtle is a perfect name.
Well, also speaking of downgraded versions, in the English version, Keith Turtle was renamed to Totalizer.
Totalizer.
Yeah, which is
dumb.
Yeah, a stupid name. But I love they're all ready to fight, and then Coach Mountain just gets Keith Turtle in a headlock.
No fighting in school. You're not supposed to bring your Medabot.
It's great. He just yells at everyone to get back to class because a huge crowd gathered to watch this fight in the corridor.
It's very funny the way they just slide into frame as soon as the battle is issued.
Yeah. They're in class. Metabee explains that he's at school because Ikki's mum asked him to bring the homework that Ikki forgot. But on the way he tripped and he fell in a puddle. And because the homework is in some kind of fancy future digital workbook, it's broken now. It just has an error message.
You could have just called it a tablet.
It's not really, though, a tablet, is it? Because it, opens like a book and it looks like lined paper, but apparently it's a screen.
It looks like an ebook. Like, you can get those covers for them so you can open it like a book.
Right. But the, I guess screen still looked like lined paper, but it was black.
I'm sure that exists.
And it just said error flashing on it. So I was a bit confused about, the timeline of this. Because we saw Metabee calmly walking to school with Ikki.
Yeah.
But he did disappear for a little bit, I guess, when Ikki jumped the fence. So maybe he went home and then ran back. I don't know.
It is also a comedy anime, and I'm not looking too deeply into that.
True. Anyway, Ikki and Metabee have a fight. Ikki tells Metabee to go away, and he does.
But that's okay, because Ikki gets a love letter.
Yeah. Yes, there's a love note in his shoe locker, asking him to meet behind the gym after school. And there's also another letter in there with a duel request. But he doesn't notice that one because he's too distracted by the love note.
But somebody does.
Yeah, it's very good. We'll get to that. It's great. So he goes behind the gym to meet his admirer, but he finds a temporary student council HQ built there instead. It's like a lean-to that they've built.
It's just like a rabbit hutch that they've taken up residence in.
Oh, that is what it is. You know what? I didn't take that in, but you're right. That's exactly what that is. It's, I guess, the school pets. They've just moved into the hutch.
There's like a little thing outside of it for carrots.
So it isn't addressed, but I guess we're to assume that the student council faked the love note to get his attention.
Yes, I believe that is the implication.
The student council explained the situation with the screws. They want Ikki's help getting their council room back. The student council president says that he'll make Ikki vice president if he helps them.
Much to the chagrin of the vice president.
Yeah. You worded that exactly as I was about to.
I know, I smelled it in your thoughts, which is wild because I've lost my sense of smell.
The screws are waiting for Ikki to respond to their duel request, but the principal shows up instead. Because he got the duel request.
You think he's just there to punish them and get them back to class, but he's genuinely upset when they don't get to battle.
Yeah, he complains. He says he's lonely.
I love him.
He's great. At this point, so he has his Medabot here, which is a samurai named Nantetsu. Nantetsu isn't the Japanese name of this Medabot. It's just his one's nickname.
Oh.
So I went and did some digging because I thought It sounded like there was some kind of story I was missing out on here. The principal is actually from the first Medabots game.
Oh.
He started out as a strict principal who had banned Medabots at school, but over the course of the game he softens and he ends up lifting the ban. Battling him was the only way to get samurai parts, but you can only battle him twice, so you'd have to trade with other players to complete the set.
Oh.
And his samurai's nickname, Nantetsu, seems to come from the manga adaptation of the first game. It's a reference to the manga.
What a tangled web.
Yeah, it's nice.
I like it, yeah.
Anybody who read the manga would be like, oh, that's Nantetsu. Cool.
And you don't need to have played the game or read the manga to appreciate the characters.
No, it's still just a funny joke on its own without knowing any of that stuff. So the screws run away. Meanwhile, Metabee gets caught in a trap which is baited with watermelon.
He immediately goes into rhinoceros beetle mode.
I don't know that I've ever heard that like beetles love watermelon. Is that a thing?
You think Medabots would make something like that up?
I guess not. But I feel like I watch so much Japanese media, especially in the course of this show. I feel like I would have heard of it before.
Yes, rhinoceros beetles generally like watermelon and other sweet fruits.
Oh, nice. You did some research for me.
Yeah, but that's just the AI overview. I don't know how much I trust it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll tell you anything. Yes, you should eat a bowl of gravel once every day.
March 12th, 2012, feral biologist says rhinoceros beetle grubs ate their watermelon just as it was ready to harvest.
Good.
Good.
I want rhinoceros beetles to eat watermelon. See, I tried to look it up and all I found was r/oddly satisfying a rhino gently crushing a watermelon. That's not a beetle, that's an actual rhino.
Yeah.
God, I love watermelon.
Okay, rhinoceros beetle.
I'm watching this rhino eat a watermelon. And I want watermelon now. All right. Yeah, Metabee gets caught in the watermelon trap, which has been set by the store clerk. He still wants that medal.
He's just gonna kidnap Metabee in the meantime.
Ikki arrives to fight the screws with the entire student council. But when he tries to summon Metabee, nothing happens because it says no medal is inserted. Which feels like it's not right.
Well, isn't the medal supposed to be inserted in his watch, though, right?
Is it? I thought it was saying it wasn't working because the medal was not in Metabee.
I think when we saw What's-His-Face summon Keith Turtle, the medal was in his watch, and he, inserted it into the tin pet when he summoned it.
Right, okay.
Because his is a normal Medabot that isn't a sentient little boy.
Right, so you think he would have to be carrying the medal around with him and put it in the watch? That probably makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they really were right to laugh at him then?
Yeah.
Okay.
What a dumb dingus idiot.
Yeah, if that's the case, then the laughter of all the other children was justified. Anyway, Ikki runs away to find Metabee, and then he gets his voice through the watch, and it's all distorted, and it sounds like he's in trouble. And Ikki doesn't know what to do, but then he runs into an old friend.
The chick salesman.
The chick salesman again. I'm so glad he's back.
Me too. I was worried he wasn't going to be a recurring character.
He was one of my favorite parts of the first one. He's a bit less of a great part of this one, but...
Yeah, because he's such a small part of this one.
Yeah, he's not as important.
He does sell a chick to Hikaru.
He does. I was really happy about that. Yeah, I mean, he gives some cryptic advice. Hikaru just happens to walk by carrying Metabee in a net on his back. And Ikki fights for Metabee and kind of earns the respect of everyone involved in this.
Mostly Metabee.
I think he earns the respect of both Metabee and Hikaru, but he also loses the respect of both of them by the end of the episode. So anyway, Hikaru returns Metabee, and they rush back to the fight. And yeah, the chick seller, he tries to sell a chick to the clerk, and I love that we later learned that he bought one. Because at the very end of the episode,
on his head.
the very end of the episode, he just has a chick on his head. It's great. I loved it. Now, my personal favorite, biggest laugh I got of this whole episode
was the boss, the shadow boss.
No. Before that is when they get back to the fight and Mr. Referee appears from the fountain in a scuba suit.
He's always great. He always has the best entrances.
He emerges from the fountain, and then we have to wait while he changes out of his scuba suit.
Yeah, you can't.
We see a lot.
You can't be a referee. We do see a lot. You can't expect him to do his job in a scuba suit.
He starts getting undressed, and then he realizes the camera's on him, and then a card comes up that's like, "Please wait while Mr. Referee changes."
He doesn't mind so much that he's surrounded by children, but the camera.
Yeah. Well, it's Japan. They have a different culture around nudity.
But around children?
I've seen so much of Goku's penis reading early Dragon Ball.
All right.
If you've never read the Dragon Ball manga, you are not prepared for how much Goku had his dick out when he was a kid.
Oh, when he was a kid, yeah. I mean, that's normal. I've seen Shin-Chan's penis.
But there you go. Oh, but you mean like, okay, I guess this is the reverse. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're supposed to go naked in the baths, right? In the bathhouse.
Yeah. I mean, you're correct about them having a different culture around public nudity. I just didn't know how far that extended around groups of young children.
Yeah, it's different around cameras, though. So Metabee fights Pepper Cat. I feel like he fought Pepper Cat in the first episode, too. We definitely saw Pepper Cat.
Pepper Cat was fighting somebody else.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, I think Pepper Cat was fighting one of the student council members.
Oh.
One.
Right, so this is the first time Metabee's fought Pepper Cat.
Yeah.
He's losing for most of this.
Yeah, he sucks.
It's only when Ikki tells him to shoot the fountain that he... I mean, this is some serious public damage.
Whatever.
He shoots the fountain, water spurts out sideways and hits Pepper Cat and shorts out the electricity, I guess. Which gives Metabee a chance to win.
Yeah, but now the screws are in trouble.
Yeah, because now they're going to get killed by the Bancho.
Oh, no.
The big boss guy. He's great.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he comes out. He shows himself. He's a... Oh, how'd you describe him?
He's dressed like a very edgy delinquent.
Yeah.
Early 20s man.
He's all in shadow. We don't really get a good look at him. It's just like one eye looking out from under his hat that's fully shadowing his face.
It's like militaristic delinquent chic.
Yeah. He says he's going to avenge the screws with a battle. And he sends out Bankaran, his Medabot, which is called Banisher in English, apparently.
It's very serious and very scary, and it's right after a battle with Pepper Cat.
I looked up this Medabot. Apparently, it's basically the Wobbuffet of Medabots.
Okay.
It can only fight through counterattacks. But Metabee shoots it one time, and it goes down immediately. And then the boss stands there for a while. And then goes down to one knee and starts coughing, pretending to be sick, and just leaves.
And everyone's like, does he even go here?
And apparently this is all like straight out of the game. This is like a direct adaptation of what happens in Medabots 2.
It's very funny.
It's very funny.
Good job, Medabots. Medabots 2 is the one that did get translated, right?
Yes, but I think not until they remade it for the Game Boy Advance.
Right. But you can play it in English, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think they probably all have a fan translation, at least.
We looked into this last time, and not all of them do.
Oh, was that what it was? I don't remember. I just assume everything has a fan translation by now, but...
Well, fan translations take a long time.
I know, and I realize I have come across a few things I wanted to play that didn't have fan translations now that I think about it.
Play it in English. You don't need a fan translation.
Metabee almost respects Ikki until he finds out that Ikki only joined this battle so that he could become student vice council president or whatever.
I feel like that's not even 100% true. I feel like he just likes to battle.
I also feel like, who cares?
Right. I don't think he wants to be the vice president.
Like, what would have made a better reason for this fight to happen? What would Metabee have been satisfied with?
He wanted to show off the glory and the splendor of Metabee. Yeah. And the strength and the beauty and the magic and the mystery.
Well, they fight. Hikaru watches from nearby, lamenting the misplaced faith that he put in Ikki.
Him and his chick.
And at the very end, we're shown with a little info card thing that Ikki acquired Peppercat's arm and Banish's legs. I don't know what difference that makes.
Right.
Like, are we ever going to see Metabee with Peppercat's arm? Is that going to happen?
I don't know.
Sure hasn't happened yet.
It sure hasn't. Ikki has no idea how to swap out these parts.
Well, that's it. What did you think?
I liked it.
I liked it
I
too.
like this show a lot. I think it's funny.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a funny show. I enjoyed it. It was very good.
Very great. Good times.
I would give it a Metabee out of Peppercat.
That doesn't sound like a good score. Don't you want a Peppercat out of Peppercat?
No, I feel like a Metabee out of Peppercat is like an 11 out of 10. I like Metabee more than Peppercat. Do you not agree?
I like Peppercat's design just because Peppercat's Kit Kat.
Yeah, but it's no Keith Turtle.
It is no Keith Turtle.
I actually don't like Keith Turtle's design very much. I just like the name.
No, he's pretty boring.
Yeah, Peppercat is really good. I like the other one. You know, there's another one that's on the cover of the game. The one that's not Metabee. I don't know what its name is.
Isn't he like a stag beetle or something?
Yeah, that's right. He hasn't been in the show yet, so I don't know what he is. But I like him more. I would have bought his game if I was buying one of the versions. You want to hear about the dub?
Okay.
All right, play the theme song.
Medabots! Ikki and Metabee!
Go get your friends.
It's time to battle! More battle! Till you drop!
More Medabots.
Don't lose control! It's time to make it! To the top!
More power. Metaforce. Metaparts. Metafighters.
Medabots! 22nd century! It's time to battle! Yeah, we'll battle! Medabots!
The name of the dub version of the episode is Return of the Screws, which is pretty close.
Yeah.
What was it? Screws Revenge in Japanese?
Yeah.
There's a lot that's different.
Yeah.
They've added in a lot of jokes, and I don't think any of them. Some of them are okay. There was one at the very beginning that they added. You know, when he's like still got his arm up from waving in his dream when he's asleep.
Yeah.
I think in the Japanese version he was saying he'd be happy to give an autograph or something, but in the English version he was saying,
Please, no autographs. I need this hand to wave.
which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah. If you're gonna add a joke, at least it's a funny one.
Yeah. The narration about what Ikki's dad was thinking when he was listening to Ikki and Metabee fight is removed. They took out the narration, but they left in the shot.
Okay.
So there's just a long, unexplained close-up of him reading the newspaper while they fight.
I guess you don't need the narration. The narration just makes it funnier. Like, you can still kind of figure it out from context.
I don't know. It just, without the narration, it just came across kind of like bizarre to me.
Well, it's Metabee yelling about how he didn't ask to be born, and Ikki as his father getting upset about it.
No, they changed that as well. They're just continuing to argue about taking the trash out.
Oh, well then that's kind of lame.
Yeah. I don't know. It didn't make a lot of sense without the narration, I didn't think. It was just a strange close-up of him reading the newspaper.
There's one thing I'm extremely curious about in the translation.
Mm-hmm.
So in the original, when they first run into Hikaru and he's trying to explain that there's something wrong with the metal, he says something, and I don't know enough Japanese to discern exactly what was said, but Metabee thinks that he says "uma no hone," which is horse bones. So there's a scene where he's just yelling horse bones, and there's a horse and bones in the background.
What? I forgot that. I'm gonna hold on. I gotta open up the episode again and look at this. Horse bones. No, I didn't take that in at all.
It's been living in my head rent free. I watched this a couple days ago and I was like, I understand why they did that in the translation, but that means that they completely ignored the pun.
Right, I'm going back to the dub. Let's see what happens. Okay, they just cut that part. They just skip over the horse shot.
They don't address the horse bones in the room.
No, they just go straight to Hikaru walking behind him and popping open the thing. They skip over the horse bone shot entirely.
I figured they must have, but like Pokemon really went out of its way to try and explain some of those Japanese puns.
Yeah, and sometimes they still left in the imagery and just didn't explain it at all. Like I remember there was one. I can't remember what it was. There was one with I think May mishears Ember as like mushroom, and then mushrooms appear in the background. Oh no, she tries to command Torchic to use Ember, but she says mushroom instead. And then there are loads of mushrooms in the background as she says it. But in the English version, they took that out but left in the mushrooms. Something like that. It's been a long time. Anyway, there's a part as they're walking to school when Ikki is like complaining about Metabee not listening to him. He says,
My own Medabot lipping me off.
and I heard it as flipping me off. I had to go back like 3 times and listen again.
That doesn't sound natural. I don't blame you for mishearing it.
No, I'd never heard that phrase before. Lipping me off?
I've heard giving me lip.
Yeah, okay, good. Not just me.
No.
They erased the word Medarot from Hikaru's whiteboard, which does make sense, but I feel like they could have just edited the R into a B.
Very simple.
Yeah. Especially because when we get to the school, they have completely translated all of the text on the school paper for the close-up.
But they got rid of Medarot.
Yeah, but they got rid of Medarot. So just change R changes into a B pretty easily.
It's one of the easier ones.
But yeah, they actually did a really good job like matching up the style of the lettering and everything on the school paper. It was pretty cool. And it's all fully readable. You can read all of it.
Wow.
In the wide shot, they just left the Japanese text on there. I guess they figured people wouldn't be able to read it that closely. And probably couldn't.
Yeah, you can't even read it in Japanese.
Yeah, back on CRT screens, it would have been even harder to see as well. So, and then immediately after they did all of that work, we have the shot where Metabee has his little like cardboard autograph stand that he's set up,
Right.
and they've just erased the sign and left it blank. So they really,
I guess because it's not important.
they really went back and forth on how much work they wanted to do. They've made the same edits to the Screws base signs as before. So there's just one sign up proclaiming it to be the student council office, completely ruining the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I remembered, when I saw that, I remembered that they made that same edit last time. And I was like, oh yeah, I was mad about that then as well. The whole point is that those are hastily put up signs saying it's the Screws base, because it's not the student council office anymore.
Right. So what did they do for the student council rabbit hutch?
That still says temporary student council room. They've translated that fine. They just, I don't know what they were thinking with the Screws base. They put a little info card after Keith Turtle comes out to introduce Totalizer. Still don't like that rename.
No, it's dumb.
Oh yeah, and when, in the dub, when Metabee talks about bringing the homework, he's more explicit about how he went home after Ikki told him to, and then came back with the homework.
Too many children like Mike wondering when he's going to get to the fireworks factory.
I just wanted to know if that's what happened. But also, they did change the joke. Instead of tripping and falling in a puddle, he said that the homework was dirty, so he put it in the dishwasher.
Okay.
Which I think is less good.
Yeah.
I prefer the idea that he's just clumsy. The text on the Screws dual challenge letter has been changed. Like, they didn't just leave it blank. They actually put some text on there so we knew it was a challenge.
Right.
So that's nice. Later on, when Metabee's voice comes through the watch, it's not distorted at all and it doesn't sound like he's in trouble. He's just like, I've got better things to do.
メタビーどこにいるんだロボトルしなきゃいけなくなっちまったんだぞおい今こっちもそれどころじゃメタビー Metabee, where are you? I need you for row battle right now!
Sorry, but I've got more important things to deal with.
Metabee?
Why?
I don't know. That was a really dumb change.
He's being actively kidnapped. Why would he say that?
And they changed the chick seller's advice to make it more chicken related. It's about chicks growing up into chickens. Still not helpful.
But at least on theme.
Oh, and they changed him selling. In the Japanese version, he just like makes a sales pitch to Hikaru with a chick.
Mm-hmm.
In the English version, at the end of that scene, he turns to Hikaru and he's like, hey, you broke one of my eggs. And then he holds up a chick and says, you break it, you bought it. But it doesn't make any sense because he's not selling eggs.
You broke my chicken. Don't cluck no more.
It's annoying. It really annoys me because this actually would be a really funny joke if he was selling eggs.
Yeah.
If he was selling eggs and then he's like, hey, you broke one of my eggs and held up a chick. That would be really funny.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. He's selling chicks.
Listen.
I prefer the idea that Hikaru just wanted to buy a chick rather than like...
Either wanted to or was coaxed into it.
Yeah. I don't like the... You broke one of my
Being
eggs, so
forced
you
to
have
buy
to buy...
it.
Yeah, it's not as fun, not as cute.
No.
The one thing I was looking out for the most... Mr. Referee changing.
Do we get to see his old man ding dong?
It's completely gone.
Oh.
He is just one shot he's wearing a scuba suit and the next shot he's wearing his normal outfit. Then there's no transition there.
So they'll give us a whole dialogue about how Metabee had to go home specifically during this period of time, but Mr. Referee is just suddenly clothed.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, the Bancho, the boss of the Screws, he gets a proper name in the dub.
Yeah.
He's called Baron von Banish.
Baron von Banish.
Yeah, so he
with
does.
the Banisher?
Yep.
That's bad.
Yeah, I like that he was just like nobody in the original. He has no name. He's there for like 2 seconds. It made it funnier.
Clearly older than everybody there.
Yeah, them giving him a proper name, I don't know, it just ruined it a little bit for me. They added an info card for Banisher as well. And it says that Banisher's specialty is strong appearance, which I thought was pretty funny.
Doesn't do much else, but boy does he look pretty tough.
That's it. That's all the stuff I noticed. I definitely preferred the Japanese version.
Yeah.
But I thought the English version was mostly fine. There were one or two jokes that I thought were improvements, but not many. It was already really funny, so...
Yeah.
I don't... well, one thing I will say is that I don't feel like there were many times when the script changes diminished the comedy.
Yeah.
Which is a compliment.
That's good, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen some things.
Yeah. We've definitely watched shows where they changed stuff in a way that made it way less funny.
Don't. What did I just say?
I'm sorry, am I stealing your thing?
Yes. I was sneezing so much earlier.
Well, you should have kept doing it, then I wouldn't have had to pick up the slack.
I got all my sneezes out. I don't know what to tell you. I have to catch them again.
Well, I don't have anything else to say.
Cool.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, I want to watch more of this show.
Oh, we will. I love this
And
shit.
if the game is just as funny, I want to play the game.
Yeah, finding out that the stuff with the boss coming out and then being not particularly tough. I think he's a bit tougher in the game, but it's still like he comes out, he does a fight where he can only hurt you if you hurt him first, and then he's like, I have to go. That's all straight from the game.
Cool.
I wanted to get to... We learned last time that there's a part where the story just kind of stops making any sense in the dub because they started doing the episodes out of order.
Right.
I want to get to those ones.
Want to see if it holds up or if it's just completely cuckoo bananas.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. It was something like they took all of the episodes that they thought were important to the plot and dubbed those first, and then put all of the ones that they thought weren't at the end. But they had like missed some stuff. So there are some episodes that are supposed to introduce characters that they move to the end, so those characters show up first, and then it doesn't make any sense.
Cool.
I think the episode that introduced the main villains ended up moved to the back.
How does something like that even happen?
Because they're not really paying attention. That's what it is. It's the people making the show don't really care. Because apparently they did the same thing with Card Captors. It was the same dubbing company that did Card Captors. And they did the same thing. They moved everything that they thought wasn't an important episode to the end of the series.
Okay, sure, whatever.
It's an odd choice to make. I don't know what the thinking was behind it.
Some people in television, I don't know what they're doing.
Most people in television.
A lot of drugs and making wild decisions.
Did you hear that Warner Brothers Discovery is being split into two companies?
No.
Presumably called Warner Brothers and Discovery.
I did hear that after many years and many rebrandings, HBO Max has settled on naming itself HBO Max.
Yep. That's basically where we're at with the entire Warner Brothers saga now. Everything's going back to how it was before. And I'm sure whoever made the decision is going to get $1 billion.
What a great idea. Here's all the money.
Well,
I'm so glad that you came to us half an hour ago and got this lucrative job.
well, nothing I've done over the past 3 years has worked, so I'm going to undo everything. Great idea. Have 10 bonuses. Here's a yacht.
Wow, suddenly people are saying that this is what they've been yelling about for 10 years. What a great idea that you alone had.
I hope that they don't call them Warner Brothers and Discovery. I hope that they do something else really dumb and then in a couple years they change it back to Warner Brothers and Discovery.
What if they go and change their names to Warner Brothers and Dot?
Warner Brothers and the Warner Sister. That would be great.
I'll take all the money now, please.
Yeah, God, you deserve it more than the guy who's actually making the decisions.
Yeah, look at me. I'm putting on a show and I'm on death's door. I bet everybody wished I didn't put on a show because they have to listen to all this phlegmy goodness.
This husky voice.
Yeah, what do you want?
You ever seen the Friends episode where Phoebe catches a cold and then it makes her voice really sexy, so she's trying really hard to keep the cold?
I'm sure I saw it 20 years ago, but not since then.
I forgot all about it until just now. Well, I think we're done.
We did it. We beat the game.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah.
It's been a great time, as always.
I'm so tired. I crave nothing more than death.
Thank you to our Patreon Club VIPs, Jamie Cotter and Mark Kelly.
Thank you.
And also our Club Mesmeron, sponsor of this episode,
Whoa.
Eugene Lattig.
Whoa.
We appreciate
Thank you.
all of you.
Yeah, you weird freaks.
If you'd like to join them, you can head to patreon.com/superbreakfastfriendsclub and listen to all the stuff that we cut out of these episodes. We had a pretty good one this week, which was basically just us looking at animation errors from Super Mario Bros. 2.
Yeah, if you want to laugh at this show, you gotta pay us extra. Otherwise, you get dry infomercials.
When have we ever recorded an infomercial?
I would love to record an infomercial.
Yeah.
I would love to be the next Weber Cooks.
Give us the sponsorship and we'll record your infomercial. Company.
I'll catch a cold. I'll catch a cold for you and sound like I'm dying.
You wanna do a sponsorship for some cold medicine?
No.
Okay.
Until cold medicine can cure my cold, I hate it.
Well,
Not this symptom management bullshit.
you wanna be done with it?
I want to be done with it. I fucking hate colds.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They linger for so long.
They do, and none of the medicine really deals with the symptoms like you want.
No.
And it gives you new symptoms. It's like, great, thanks, my nose isn't running anymore, but I feel like my head is full of volcanoes.
Like, great, I got one nostril that I can breathe through now.
Sure, I'm not coughing, but my lungs are aflame. I hate the stuff like you pour it down your throat and you can feel it burning all the way down. You know the ones?
I have no idea what you're talking about. What medicine are you taking?
It's like a syrup, and it tastes like butthole. And you pour it in this little like cup that comes with it, and then you chug it, and it just burns all the way down. And if you make the mistake of letting any get on your tongue, oh boy.
I vaguely know what you're talking about, but I don't know that I've ever experienced a burning.
Oh no, maybe I'm allergic. I'm Skull Pirate Mike. Come and find me on Twitch, where I'm streaming Simpsons games right now. The first few were real bad. I think I broke Bart versus the World.
Good.
It didn't work in the end. I think I was pretty sure I was supposed to be able to climb stuff, and I could only slide left and right while climbing. But I would slide off of the climbable surface and just into the sky.
Listen, we've all broken a video game sometimes, and you can't come back.
It also stopped subtracting lives when I died.
It just felt bad for you at that point.
I managed to brute force it though. I made it to the end. Bye! Hang on, my eyes are still itchy. I'm gonna put some more drops in.
Oh my god, you're so needy.
Shut up, you're falling apart.
You can't prove that in a court of law.